And no, that's important for all creatives and
Mhm.
entrepreneurs to know the ins and outs of fostering positive and also current relationships throughout the career when you are building, especially a business or even a company, as you did,
Mhm.
which goes even into the background of technology and equipment. I know we talked to Cosmo a lot about recruiting team members, but even because you're more on the production side and the technical side with your production company that you started, like
Mhm.
how should a creative or even an entrepreneur that wants to be a creative go about selecting their technology and equipment? Did you, when you first started off, or even still to this day, do you outsource your equipment? Do you hand pick your equipment? Talk to people who are into the technical side of production. How do you fund your production or your technology for your projects?
So technology is probably one of the more expensive parts of accomplishing anything like this. It's where your biggest investments are going to come. It's where your biggest expenses are going to come, and it's something that you really have to carefully, kind of think through. So a lot of the advice that I give, a lot of the people that are part of my team is you know, when you look at what you want to do and what project that you want to accomplish, the big shiny cool pieces of technology always seem the first thing that you just kind of want to go grab and you want to do. You want to have the drone on set, or you want to have the dolly, or anything like that. Equipment is a lot more accessible than you may think. So you need to be able to, especially when you're doing something on a smaller budget, you just need to prioritize kind of what your use is. Yes, the drone is really really cool. It's a fun piece of equipment to use, and it's going to get a great shot. But are there ways to kind of get that shot in a different way? I had in fact, my director of photography, back when he first started working for me, he had his really cool camera, which he actually used to film the movie. And he kept just talking to me. He goes, "Oh, I want to get a jib, and I want to get this gimbal, and I want to get all this." And I said, "Dude, you only have one lens, you know, and you have to kind of look at what you have, and you need to have the core and the foundation, kind of functional and operational, and that and to be able to use before you get into all the things that are what I usually call eye candy. You can create a good shot with just a camera and a lens and a tripod. They did it for many many years. I encourage anybody to go back and watch how they made movies in the 60s and 70s, and just take one of your DVDs or your Blu-rays or one of your digital special features and go back and watch like the making of Indiana Jones or Jaws, and just kind of see everything they went through. They made those movies with less equipment than we have now. So it's just really important that when you're looking at your equipment, that you're investing in the fundamentals that you need to accomplish what you need successfully. If once you build that core, you want good lighting, you want a good camera, and you want good lenses, and you want good audio. That's kind of on a movie standpoint. You're kind of core four that you need for a successful production. Anything additional is just extra, because you can make a very very good movie if you have those core fours. If you sit there and you just want, oh, I just want this really cool shot, so I want to have the drone, and you invest in that, and you're not investing in your audio, you can have the best looking in audio, or best looking film in the world. If people are going to go sit in the movie theater and you put your movie on and it sounds like a home movie, you've just lost everything that you invest, because people are like, yo, what is this? So it's really important that when you're looking at technology, because there is so much of it, that if it's something that you're purchasing to own, make sure it's a core part of what you need to succeed. So in my industry, if the first thing I would invest in is a good camera. Next, the camera needs a good lens, and then I need good audio. So and then you need good lighting. So that's, I can make a really good movie, and we pretty much made Nico with just that. We had opportunities where we wanted dollies and we wanted other things, and we were able to use a small part of the budget to rent that, for the one or two shots that we need. But for the most part, you can accomplish everything as long as you have the foundation and you use your foundation and that technology well. It's amazing how far these have come with, just the lenses, and if that's the only thing that you have available to you, the 4K on an iPhone anymore is just crazy. It's just crazy. So affordable technology is everywhere. You just want to make sure that you're not just grabbing stuff because it's cool. You want to make sure that you're able to execute your project successfully, and then when you're in a field like movie making, it's not just the production that you have to think about when you're funding all of this. We've completed filming Nico 2 years ago. It just came out 3 weeks ago. And there's a lot of stuff that happens in between. So, you got to make sure that the core of every stage of the process is being executed. We had to make sure that we had the good editing systems, that we hired the right people. Again, we're going to go back to people, because you can have all the technology in the world. If you don't have the right people to use that technology, you're not going to get the best result about it. So, we had to make sure the people that can color the movie, the people that actually edit the audio, the people that can, put together, the actual edit of the movie, everything that comes together. So, a movie that on today's scales, we spent $100,000 on, most people would be like, yo, what kind of movie is that? In classification purposes, it's a micro budget movie. But we still got picked up by a distributor, and it still got released, on Amazon, on Fandango. It's coming out on Tubi in 2 weeks, and on Peacock next year. So, the as much as all the cool stuff that you see in movies, are very easy to just kind of go out and say, hey, I want to do that. I want that piece of technology. I want that piece of equipment. Make sure before you go through that, you have your foundation and you're able to use it and execute it. Or else, it doesn't matter how much technology you have. It's just not going to come out well.
Yeah, no, that's perfect when it comes to funding technology, because as you said, you could have all the bells and whistles, but if your audio is not able to be heard by the audience, then you basically put together a glamorized film that you can't enjoy as a viewer or as a consumer, because they can't even hear the content.
I mean, not every film is going to be able to, if that's the direction that you're going to, and you can even apply this to most small businesses. You're not going to, not everything that you do is going to have that big investor that comes in and just gives you an open checkbook. In my industry, not every movie is going to be funded by Universal. That can bankroll something for $250 million. Some films you're going to have to scrap and pay and get a couple $1,000s from this sponsor, or get a couple thousands from that sponsor, or go into your retirement, or go into your daughter's college fund. I'm not saying I did that, but maybe I did that. So go watch the movie because I need her college fund back. But there's different ways of funding. But when for the majority of us, whether in business or in movies or whatever it is, we're not going to have the big backing of something like a Universal Pictures, or we're not going to have the big backing of a Comcast. And you're really going to have to work hard to find the funds to be able to do that. It's a little bit more challenging in industry like a creative industry like filmmaking, because there's not instant returns. We're in pre-production for 6 to 8 to 10 months. And that's the part where, we had to be able to secure the funds before we went to pre-production to know we can make this movie. And then, we were in production for 10 days, which nobody told me I could do, but you're on an independent budget. You figure out how to do it in 10 days. And then you have a year where you're in post-production and you're trying to sell your movie. and then it gets sold, and then it gets released. And like I said, I believe it was 2 years ago. This coming, what date is it? It's the 20th. Believe the 21st of 2022 was when we finished the movie. So we're almost at 2 years to the date, and it's just getting released. And we've only been hopefully making money off of it for 3 weeks. So we're still not seeing that. So finding investors that are for something like that are willing just to wait this long period of time, it's a lot more challenging. So you have to kind of get creative when you're finding, how finding the funds for this, finding the sponsors that, you can have the cup of coffee in the movie, product placement, and getting creative, because, you're not always going to have that big investment. So you just got to be smart about it. So you don't want to take that little, when it's that hard to find the money to be able to do what you do, you just don't want to say, okay, I'm just going to buy all this big expensive equipment and that's why we're going to be great. If the talent's not behind it and you can't execute using that equipment, it's completely worthless, and you've just blown all your funds and you've just blown your opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna pivot into before we get ready to wind down shortly
Mhm.
is especially on the production side, everyone always talks about the cast and
Mhm.
the actors and the acting, but even there's tons of technical production roles that people
Mhm.
are not aware of that go into making a big budget creative film or even independent film. And so,
Yep.
like, talk to us about when you started your production company all the way until now, or even when you worked at NBC. Like,
Mhm.
how does the payment process go out for your production team? Do they go out the same time as the actors that you're soliciting to make your film? Does production get paid on the back end? Give people like a behind the scenes look on how does the production budget get funded for a film, and how do the payments go out? Or even if you're not
Right.
paying creative financing for your production team.
Yeah, so that's probably, especially when you're either a smaller business or a smaller production, that's probably the most work that you have to do, because you have to figure out how to make this budget work for this long period of time while making sure you're paying the people that are going to make this successful. So those are the actors, and those are the behind the scenes guys, and you don't want to keep them saying, where's your money? Where's my money? Where's my money? Where's my money? I can't tell you, there's a lot of platforms where you can find production work. One of them is backstage.com, and you can go on there. And I can't tell you how many different, that's where we did a lot of our casting, because it was an affordable option to be able to find actors and, in areas that we don't know, especially if you can't afford a casting director. But we were looking at some of the productions, and some people were just like, "Oh, it's profit share and all this other kind of." Listen, I made $100,000 movie. As much as I think it's great and it's wonderful, there's no guarantee it's going to make $100,000, and anybody's going to see all that. So it's really important. Again, this is again why you don't go after all the big, shiny production tools and technology, because the biggest core to any business and to any movie is the team that you have around you. You want to make sure that you hire the best and you can pay the best. So we made sure that all the core players on our team would be able to be paid by the day that we wrapped, within 30 days. That was kind of the rule. And for those who probably had a little bit more involvement, we did also give them profit share. A lot of movies don't do that. For when, if we ever do get into a profit. But it's really important to take care of the people that are closest to you, because whatever level of success that you achieve with the business, with the film, with your crew, you always want your cast and crew to be appreciated and to be able to help you succeed on your next project.